So one thing that I do like to do is keep my palette very limited. If you watch the first video that was done on Thursday, I had two scenarios of um, themes that I was going to go with, and I decided to go with, I'm actually going to do both, but what I'm going to show as a display is this one with the little pink and the roses and the birds. So I kind of was telling you I was kind of into the bird thing right now. So I pick my colors, my papers, and then I keep my palette of colors very minimal. It works best for my brain. I don't get overwhelmed that way. Of course, you do whatever is intuitively good for you, but that's what works for me. The other thing I do is, as I had mentioned before, let me get this example of one. So I use papers and then pieces of book, some of my own art, little stickers, yeah, more little sticker things. And I do some writing, so we'll do that like towards the end. But so once I get all of my pieces, I start ripping pieces out. And then what I'll do is I'll kind of match them up on as to what placement they're going to be. So like will be the front, this will be the inside front cover, this will be the inside back cover, and then this would be the back, this one right here. So I kind of lay them out based on the size cardboard or whatever substrate you're going to have as your book front and your book back, or your journal front, your journal back. Now this, originally I had two pieces that size, but since I decided I'm going to do both themes, I cut them in half. And we'll talk later why I don't mind that they're small. In fact, I prefer them a little bit smaller. So yeah, so that's the next thing I do. I decide what my theme is going to be. I get my papers that I'm going to use and I kind of rip them, find my little ephemeras, my other little stickers and different things. And typically I always put a piece of my own art in there, and so she's just kind of fun. This is a stamp that I think I'm going to use on her. These lines right here and here, that's the size of the cover. So what will end up happening is after I paint her and finish coloring her in and doing all my doodling around her, she'll have to cut out, and I'm not exactly sure how that's gonna be just yet. That's just part of the process. But yeah, one of the other things I thought I'd do is get this paper here and maybe use that as her dress. I don't know, it's kind of a little big for that small space. I just don't know quite yet if that's what I'm going to do, but I do know that I want to use this stamp for her. So yeah, I started to use color pencil on her. I will come back and do some more paints on her and on her dress. So yeah, and then this I do want to use on the front. We talked about, I love those little pieces, and then she'll go like right in here, and then I wanted a bird and I wasn't sure. So I have this bird that can go this way or this way, but I think it's a little big. And then I had another bird. So I guess I'm not using him because I don't know where that bird went. The cats probably took off with that bird. But I doodled some birds, and so maybe I'll use one of my doodles. I don't know yet. This is the intuitive process. This is how you go. You just aren't sure, and you just have all these options, and then you decide, what am I going to do? One of the things on my cardboard that I like to do is to expose the inner workings of it. Part of that is because there's vulnerability in this work. There's vulnerability when you create intuitively, and this is a reminder to me that it's okay to be vulnerable, that it's safe. Also, it's exposure. There's something about you being exposed, which is an association with vulnerability, the exposure of your feelings and your emotions and the depths of your gratitude. Because the idea, it's going to take you deeper than, oh, I'm thankful for a roof over my head, I'm thankful for food. You know, it's going to take you deeper into, well, when you see the beginning video from today, it'll take you into some really amazing depths. So So I do, and I'll do some more tearing in different areas, but once you have your pieces and you know where you're going to put them, then you can kind of know where you're going to tear. So this is that piece that I told you I loved because I wanted to do something about the birds. What I'll need to do is go through, and because so much of this I want to keep, I will be probably just blacking out parts that I don't want and leaving a lot of it. And on this one, you can see that I circled and kind of wiped out with paint and different things. That one, but I'll do something very similar, but the majority of this one I will be keeping. So I'm not quite sure. Oh, another fun thing, when I ripped this out, I didn't even notice it until I started playing. I love the number 111. I thought that was just so perfect for this. This is the fun part about intuitive creating, is that you'll come up with things and you'll be like, wow, I had no idea that that was there. Yeah, so this is the inside of, this will be the inside of the back cover. And one of the other things one thing I wanted to point out with this one is I like all of my stuff to kind of connect. So see how all the papers and the word are all kind of, they make a connection. So I do like to do that. Now on the back, with this, I probably won't have full connection. This I'll probably tuck in and cover it a little bit, but I wanted to put that strip there. So after I go in and I do the exposure on all the front backs and inside covers, I'll go in with some paint, and then what I'll probably do, like for this one, and this is some of the stuff I wanted to show you, is there are marking tools that you can use. Like I like to use a fork sometimes to mark with, and that's kind of some of the images that you can get with a fork. So yeah, I know, my silverware and my cookie sheet and everything becomes art. Another thing that you can use is an old card, like a hotel card or an expired credit card, but I just dip it in paint. And then you can make lines, right? You can also paint with it like that. So that's pretty much how I will paint. When I add some paint to these covers, that's probably what I'll use over a paintbrush on these pieces. So there's that you can use. The other thing that's always fun, I've messed this up a bit, is a bottle cap, and just, so I left my clip for my phone so I could be all hands on deck at the studio, and I didn't go back and get it. So this is what's hard about working out of two places. But anyways, you kind of get the idea. You're going to put some paint on that rim and then just stamp it. This piece right here is from my thumb. Yeah, and then you can just make little stamps like that. The other thing you can do is, everybody knows this one, is a little bit of paint on bubble wrap. Right, and so yes, that's how I will start. Another idea that I thought of was I came across this empty match box, and it's just one of the little ones, is taking some of this paper and wrapping it around here, and then I've got these darling little rosebuds and some rose essential oil inside, maybe putting some paper inside there too. This can then be adhered on the front or the back. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do that yet or not. It's just there, some thoughts. Some things that I decided against, and that will happen, are these. I'm not going to use these, so we'll save them for another project. I was going to use 2 of these flowers. I've decided I'm only going to use 1, so save that for something else. And then a couple of these things, like this already has a hole in it, so that when I do the ties, I will probably get some twine or some yarn like this and put it through that hole and have it hanging there as well. Thought I would do that because I loved this little one. A little birdie told me that I would also do that maybe with this piece right here. So hopefully this has given you some inspiration and a glimpse at my process. The rest really is just playing and having fun. Yeah. Magazine, if you pull out a magazine, like this one I do her, but if you wanted to pull out an image from a magazine of a model, you can also paint on her or color on her, use markers on her and kind of change her up a bit. So if you're not comfortable drawing out a person or a little caricature, that's an option as well. When it comes to adhering, I am going to be using Elmer's glue. Now, I won't, once I get the exposure, a layer of some paint, and I won't be precise. Like I said, I'm just going to go like that with this little door key. Then if I decide I'm going to put in any more little images or shapes or, you know, bubble wrap or this marking tool, then what I will do is I will then tack on really lightly first to make sure, with the glue, I'll tack it on lightly first to make sure I have everything where I want it to be. And then, when we get that far, then I'll go over it with another layer of glue, probably Mod Podge, but you can use this. And then I will pop in, after that's all done, after you've assembled everything, all your front, your backs, and inside covers, I will show you how to make like a little antiquing that then, like this is all antiqued over, and then a layer of glue or Mod Podge to kind of seal everything in and give it that kind of like cohesiveness with that little antiquing look. So I hope this helped. Happy creating. I'm so excited to see what you've created. You can post them on the page. You can send them to me. Turn on some music. If you get stuck, you can always reach out to me, or if you're feeling blocked or frustrated, it should not be that. It really should be the inner child and the wise one within you coming out and having some fun. But if you do get stuck, reach out or turn on some music and just kind of go into a sacred dance. Go for a walk. Just take a good deep breath. Get a glass of water. Yeah, take really good care of yourself and have fun. Happy creating, and we'll visit again soon.